It's Friday, and I'm once again in the Sheen constituency office of Susan Kramer, Member of Parliament for the Richmond Park constituency, and she is going to talk to us for a few minutes about issues of current concern to us all. Susan.
Good to talk to you again, Mike. One of the big issues in this area, obviously, are the Royal Park's proposal to charge for parking in Richmond Park. And I think, as those listening will know, there has been a major consultation which ended in June. The parks have had some consultants go and do an analysis of the response to the consultation, and I suspect, not to anyone's amazement, 84% of those who responded were opposed to car parking charges, so absolutely overwhelming. So I am now very hopeful that the Royal Parks will listen to that kind of overwhelming response. I mean, that's not even marginal. That is a very clear statement of how residents feel. We're always, of course, a bit concerned because I have to say the parks don't have much of a tradition of listening to residents. I hope that's changing. And I've had a couple of cups of coffee with Barbara Follett, who is the Minister in Parliament, who is basically in charge of the Royal Parks and Richmond Park. She's promised that in the autumn I'll be able to meet with civil servants, but it sounds very much as though it's going to be the government that's going to make the call as whether or not these charges go ahead. So we've got a lot of work to do. Don't give up on the protests and don't give up on the campaign. I suspect everyone will take a bit of an August break, but we've spoken out once. But this is always the point where sometimes people relax. Don't relax, even though we've made our views clear. We need to keep writing to the government. Write to me, I'll pass on the letters. Keep responding to petitions on the website. We've got to keep up the pressure. Second issue, and this is another area where we have to go out fighting, and that is air track. I think I've raised this issue before. The British Airports Authority, BAA, have proposed to run trains between Heathrow and Waterloo via Twickenham and Richmond. Well, I think in principle no one would argue with the idea, but the problem is, of course, the impact it's going to have on the level crossings throughout Richmond, Sheen, Mortlake and Barnes. And I just looked at the latest work that has come from AirTrack. They have gone ahead and they are applying for what is called a Transport and Works Act, which would let them go ahead and do pretty much what they want to actually establish this line. And they're saying that the barriers in our area, currently down 37 minutes out of the hour, that would go to 41 minutes. Well, frankly, the 37 minutes is so much too many. And you see how the traffic backs up and the way we have pedestrians so often unable to cross, because obviously in a couple of places we've got a footbridge. This is an absolutely critical problem. We could have people who live in Sheen and Mortlake and Barnes literally trapped between the river on the one side and the railway line on the other for incredibly long periods. And you know that means people try and just run across the level crossings. That's a series of problems. But also, if you need to get an ambulance in, if you've got to get police cars in, people have to get to work, children to school, people shopping, having barriers down 41 minutes out of the hour, just completely unacceptable. And I suspect too that it's not really 41 minutes, that's only on the most efficient day. That's not real experience that most of us have. The consultation on this goes on until September 18th, so there is time to write with your views. Check the website if you want to know how to do that, or just let me know and we'll make sure that we pass on your views. They're going to be, we're going to make sure we get some meetings organised around this, but it probably has to be after people come back from holiday. Not an issue to let go. We absolutely have to fight on this for the sake of our communities.
Because there was an accident the other day, wasn't there, down at the Mortlake level crossing? Or some incident anyway. I mean,
there are times when there are incidents at the level crossings. You do get people running the barriers, you do get people bashing the barrier over with some fairly extraordinary frequency. I think 1 week recently, twice the barrier on Sheen Lane got knocked off by cars going past. So, I mean, we do get all kinds of idiocies. But most people are law-abiding, and as I say, I'm just very much afraid of the impact. I was actually, interestingly enough, with some engineers from Transport for London over on Manor Road, near Manor Road Circus. We were there about a different set of issues, and I finally seem to have found an incredibly intelligent and appreciative engineer who understands local issues, but doesn't just speak the policy mantra. So I hope he's going to have some influence. But he looked at the way the traffic was backing up onto the A316 and all the problems that were created around that Manor Road Circus when the barriers came down, and said, this can't be allowed. You know, this is just extraordinary. Cannot have something like this. And that's with the current pattern. You know, we're not even talking about the plans to keep this barrier down further. And I'll also say, I mean, having a bit of a railway background, that this plan for air track would be 2 trains an hour in each direction. That's not really a service, and you can see the pressure will quickly become for 4 trains an hour, not just 2 trains an hour in each direction.
Yes, I see the problem. Well, let's hope some wise counsels prevail.
Well, we have to take this right up to the new Secretary of Transport, Lord Adonis, but it's going to require a lot of public campaigning.
Yeah. There's, I suppose it's out of the question to think about building some sort of bridge so that traffic could go over it.
Well, the bridge idea sounds nice till you suddenly look at the roads
and
you realise,
yes.
you know, to ramp them up, you'd have to take out houses, you'd destroy all the shops that are on Sheen Lane. Modern health and safety standards don't let us quite jerry-rig things the way that might have happened in the Victorian era.
I remember
we built right up to the railway, and we built right up to the road, so there's not flexibility in there.
That's right. No, I remember when they did the flyover at the roundabout where the A316 joins the M4.
Yep.
That was a sort of very temporary sort of Bailey Bridge thing, and it's been there for about 45 years to my certain knowledge.
A few more generations, as far as I can see now. I mean, so we can't allow that jerry-rigging. The other thing I have to say is this is not hostility to having a train running between Heathrow and coming through Richmond. I mean, I think we'd all love to see that, but it's just that it turns out to be the one service too many.
Yes.
And what we've got to get is the government very rapidly to go to 12-car trains. You could then move as many people, but
not so frequently.
But not quite so frequently.
Yes,
I mean, not significantly reducing frequency, but buying those extra few minutes that would let you fit
then the problem would be that the
service.
Stations are too short, aren't they, most of
Well,
them?
this is absolutely massive. I mean, the government is committed to going to first 10-car and then 12-car trains. It does mean lengthening most of the platforms in our area. The one that is the huge challenge is the one at Richmond Station, because there's a bridge at each end of it.
Yes.
And I have been there with engineers who have looked, and a smile comes over their faces, and they say, this is the kind of challenge I was born for. And you just go, oh no, please. There is that sort of underlying agony. I'd much rather it was simple, but it's not. It's going to be one of the great engineering challenges. But we have to do it. We need longer trains.
Oh well, there's nothing simple in life, is there?
There isn't.
But at least we've sort of chewed these things over, and very many thanks for your time, Susan, and look forward to the next one.
I feel I should have had something cheerful for the summer, so I'll try that on the next one.
All right, thank you very much. Bye for now.